lot of you guys have been asking for an updated Lotus guide because of the changes to C site and B site. So today I'm going to show you guys all the new setups that I found, along with the post-play lineups you'll need to be successful. And today I got some bonus tech that you guys can use to get extra value and get extra picks while playing Killjoy on this map. Starting off with the Killjoy setups, I like to put my alarm bot as far back as I possibly can, with the corners still covering here and here, so no enemies can sneak in. I like to throw my first molly a little bit in front of the alarm bot right here, and then I like to throw my second one over here. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how this looks when they run in. So it stops them from pushing in, and it'll do damage to the jet or raise who satchel and dash in and land over here, forcing them to swing out this angle here. And I like to play this pillar, and I like to peek I like to kill the people who peek this elbow area. I get a lot of picks because they're running through that util. They go over here for cover, and then I'm able to kill their opening jet or raise right off the start. And showing you guys again, this area is a lot more open now. There's this whole area that players can sit now, and there's this whole area that players can sit now, jump up on the box and peek you as well. This area is a lot wider now. Unless you legitimately use 6 Killjoy mollies, you cannot cover this whole area anymore like you used to. So the setups aren't as effective, but I'm giving you guys the best chance to get damage and picks the best way possible. All right, next setup, I use the exact same alarm bot. First molly goes here, second molly goes on this side of the alarm bot. So what this first molly does is, you guys know, when they rush in this way, you can't even crouch into this molly, you'll take damage. And then this one will stop them from running into the site and then swinging out this angle here, helping you kind of stall out any kind of pushes that the enemies are trying to do while getting a bunch of damage. And you can play any of the site positions off of that. First molly goes here, and then the other one goes here. So what this does is it makes it so the enemies can't path to the left on you, and it makes it so they can't get past this molly here. So it kind of traps them in this corner here, and then you can peek any of the positions you want to peek to catch the people, because you're kind of just stalling. You're letting them in this site, but you're not letting them in this site. You know what I'm saying? So it's good in between to kind of mess with people if they're kind of catching on to the other two setups. And this next setup is an experimental setup. It's when you know the jet or raise are dashing and satcheling into the site, into this elbow area or bend area. Alarm bot goes right there. First swarm here, second swarm here. So what I like to do with this is, when the jet dashes in, I'll play anywhere back site, and I'll try to kill the guys running up. Or since now I know they can't come this way, I'll try to take fights on the people running in this way, or like over this. And you can catch a lot of picks that way as well and get a good amount of damage. I have to remind you guys that you should not be playing the backside on C every single round. You should not just be sitting here when the clock hits 0 and the round starts. What you need to be doing every single round is running over here and jiggle peeking this angle every single round. And the second you see someone, the second they throw you util, bail, fall back to site. But now you have that information. So now the person playing B can rotate over and help you when these enemies are hitting this site. So you're not 5v1. You can at least 2v5 the people executing the site. So if you're wondering how to jiggle peek, you kind of do an A and then a W when you go to peek the angle, and then you SD to get back around the corner. So A, W, SD, and then you do it while you're in the air. So like this. And it's really good for getting early round information without you dying. Now you guys might be wondering, where would you put your Killjoy turret when you're playing the C site? I got a few spots for you. This one is probably the funniest, because when the enemies run into sight, they get shot by this turret. Instead of looking at any of these angles, they have to put their back to you and break this turret, so you might be able to get a free kill. The other turret spot everyone knows is up on this box right here, and it sees over the wall as well and can catch a lot of damage on the people running in. I would say 8 or 9 times out of 10 though, I'm putting my Killjoy turret on the B site, because if you don't put your Killjoy turret on the B site, then a lot of the times this area is open and people are able to catch lurks. So it's really smart to constantly have your Killjoy turret here while you have your alarm bot watching the front over here at the C site. The only thing to keep in mind is, when you have that turret set up on the B site, that you are limited to playing this side of the site. You can't really go anywhere else, because if you go bend, you will be out of range. So you do have to keep that in mind. I'm going to show you guys 2 different ways to get picks on the C site. But before I do, I want to remind you guys that I stream every single day at twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb. So if you want to see some Cypher gameplay, some Killjoy gameplay, if you guys want to ask me questions about any of my guides, check me out at twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb. But here are the 2 things that you can do to be funny. Right here, turret goes down here, it spots this angle right here. All right. So what you can do is, I have my teammate, anyone, Sky, Gecko, anyone who has a flash, they sit right here. And when I call for it, they will throw a flash over this wall. Or when the turret shoots, I'll be literally sitting right here, and the second that turret shoots, pop, 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 Gecko flash up, they're all flash, and I'm able to literally pick off 2 to 3 people sometimes. And I'll even call over a buddy to help me take these fights, and you get a lot of cool picks. And another thing that I really like to do is, especially on a save round, you got a sheriff, I have a nice 3k from this spot. Is you put the turret up here, and the second the round starts, you cross this box. You can even have a teammate jiggle peek for you on the other side, but the turret being there is usually enough to have them focus on that turret while you play this box. Obviously sometimes you're gonna get spammed. You're not gonna be able to do this 10 times a game, but I've got a nice 3k, which I'll show now on this screen from doing this. It's really good to do on eco rounds.
Oh my god, KJ.
The B site on Lotus has probably the least amount of action out of the 3 sites, but if the enemies keep just like slamming the site over and over again, and just your turret being there is oftentimes not enough. Here's like the one setup that I use. I don't have like 50 different setups to this site because it's more important to lock down C or to lock down A with your util. But alarm bot on the right side, and of course make sure there's not enough room for them to walk on that side. First molly you're going to want to throw in the doorway, just a basic molly, and then the second one I will always throw like here because I want to make sure it kind of covers this area here, because when people try to use the wingman to run in and plant, you killing him with your molly will stop them in their tracks almost instantly and scare them, so it'll kind of kill the guy running in. And now look, it keeps this corner open and they could obviously run to this side, but it's just something to get extra delay and extra stopping power if these people just keep slamming that B site. This is a little play I like to do in ranked that'll usually get me 1 to 2 picks every single game, because every time you put your turret up here, right, it catches this angle over here. So the second that round starts, I'll shift up B main behind this box right here, and the second that turret shoots, I'll peek out and kill the 1 or 2 people here that are going to be looking this way at my turret. And it does really well, because if you know that Killjoy's lurking, or there's some rat lurking front B every round trying to break your turret or whatever, you can just sit behind that box and get a free pick or 2 once or twice a game. They're not going to fall for it beyond that. They're just going to spam the box. Welcome to the best 2 Lotus A side setups you'll ever see in your entire life. And honestly, I want to give big props out to Joltira because she inspired a lot of the parts of these 2 setups. So first one you want to do is pull this alarm bot as far back as you possibly can, about right here, just so it covers this spot as well. And I'm going to throw 2 mollies here as kind of an example. First one goes there. Second one, you bring it out and you throw it here, like somewhere around this box, or sometimes I like to jump and throw it on top of this box. Okay, so what this setup will look like is when they run in, the alarm bot will go off when they start to get here, so this will already start doing damage to them, and then them running into this elevated area, they won't be able to plant and they're going to get caught up with the weird elevation of the molly. Or you can run this setup here with the one on the ground, and it kind of does the same thing, and it stops them from rushing in and catches a lot of damage, and it'll damage the people who are trying to rush this way as well. And what I do when I play off of this setup, I will almost always sit on this back side area. Okay, so you can kind of just take pops at these people running in, and oftentimes I'll even sit up top and play off of this before the smoke goes up. Of course, you can easily pop some shots at a few people. Another version of this setup you can use is by putting your first molly here and then your second molly even deep this way, so when they run in, you pop both of these, so now you don't have to watch this way. Now you can focus on holding this angle from the peaks from the people tree and trying to survive from them pushing you, so that way you can stop the push from one side, so you can isolate the push from the other side and try to get picks that way. And honestly, this site is a lot easier to hold now than it used to be, because when you used to play in the middle, you'd have to worry about getting shot from both ways, and now you can kind of isolate each side and take the fights and play back site when you need to. And you're like, well, Cam, what about the turrets? 2 turret spots. First one up here, and when you angle this, make sure you angle it so the blue beam watches both sides. You can peek off of this turret and fight the people who are swinging out tree, because they're going to be looking up to break your turret like a little goofball, and you can pick them off. And the second turret, and this is the most important turret that I mostly run when I play over here, is once again, I'll pull up the maps, you can see, you got to make sure that this turret, look at like right here, it doesn't cover people walking through. They can sneak through, but if you make sure this blue beam covers all the way to the left side and all the way to the right side, like right here, it covers people walking this way, so they can't lurk upstairs on your team. And if they walk through the door, if they tap the door and they don't walk through, you'll know. So it's really strong for getting a lot of information. There's not really ways to peek off of this turret unless you want to sit here and expose yourself to this angle, assuming your teammate's holding that one for you. You can kind of peek off the turret and take duels, but this one's more for getting information. Before I show you guys the post-plant lineups for Killjoy, here's a quick reminder to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the video, if you guys have learned anything, and if you guys want to see more Killjoy educational, Cypher educational highlights in the future, make sure you guys subscribe. Now here's the lineups. Right here, aim yourself into this wall right here and pull out your swarm. So walk up to it, and what you want to do is, you see the circle on your screen right now, this is where you're gonna want to put this little diamond underneath these leaves right here. And you guys got to listen carefully here, otherwise you will miss. Right as you click the spacebar, as fast as humanly possible after you click the spacebar, then you throw. So it'll look something like this. And this molly flies all the way over the top of this wall. And it'll come back down right here. And this molly will cover anyone trying to defuse in that corner or in this corner perfectly. And it's a really good molly for covering all of top site, and I've won a numerous amount of rounds with that specific lineup. I absolutely love using it. I will say you guys need to remind your teammates to plant somewhere in this area, but if they don't and they plant over here, you legitimately can just throw mollies through the smoke back site like this, and it'll land in that corner and it'll stop that person from defusing if they plant over there. For the B-side Killjoy lineups, there really isn't a lineup, I should say, because this hole in the ceiling doesn't allow you to really throw anything in, so you're gonna have to be playing back main usually. So most of the time, well, people either plant here or here, and depending on what they do, I'll just throw mollies up here on these boxes, and you can just throw them from main if you want. You can do anything, and it'll just stop both spots from being diffused. And this is a fun little thing, is you can even throw it up on this little window. So if you kind of line up right here like this, you can aim your crosshair at the top of this right here, give or take. It might take you a throw or two to learn, but it lands up on that windowsill right there, and it'll like, it makes it harder because it's kind of out of the enemy's way, and it makes it harder for them to see. Otherwise, if you're in a pinch, just throw them on the box. That's usually what I do, and it works most of the time, but people do find them and break them once in a while. For the A side, I have two different lineups. This first one right here is if you're playing really far away and you're kind of playing deep, you can run up here and you want to aim anywhere up with this crack, then you want to walk up to the front of this patch, and this will work on like any settings that you're on. And what you want to do is pull out your swarm, and you want to aim that right click throw diamond on this leaf, like kind of in the middle of this leaf. I'll put the red circle around it so you guys see what I'm talking about. You just give this a throw, no jump, no nonsense. It'll fly over these trees and it'll land on top of this box. So if the plant is on the left or the right side, it'll completely cover it. Really, really good stuff. But make sure you guys tell your teammates to plant on this box, especially since they updated the site. Sometimes a lot of people are starting to plant here, which is not that good of a plant spot. If you plant here in this corner, all your teammates can play out of sight and the round is much easier to win. And the main thing I like to do is I will run over here, I'll hold this broken door, and if you peek this way, like you just throw your, you can just aim your swarm a little bit under the top of this box, literally anywhere, and just throw, and it'll go over that box and land perfectly on that. So you can throw them on the fly. So most of the time I will do that lineup because it's easier to throw on the fly, and then you're way closer to peek off of your swarms. So that's primarily the one I like to play, but you can kind of do whatever you think is going to get you and your team the best value. All right, now I'm going to give you guys some sauce about how to be a useful Killjoy main while attacking at Lotus. Holding the flank is very important, but I'm going to give you guys some bonus stuff on top of it. All right, so first things first, you want to hold the C flank. I usually don't do my turret here because you can't really get into sight and plant. So I'll throw my turret up here. Now it'll see the people flanking a little bit later, but this allows you the range of going into sight and planting here, and then you can come play back off your turret, peek off your turret, and play your lineups however you'd like to do it. In terms of the B site, I usually do this turret a lot because it would watch towards this way and it would watch towards anyone flanking, but with the turret nerf, can't really do that. So now if we ever do go B, I'll just put my turret right here, or if we're hitting a hard default, I'll just drop my turret right up here, pointed this way, so people can't like push up on B, or I can just sit here, wait for the turret to shoot, and then peek off it and try to kill anyone who gets aggressive on the B site. In terms of the C site, a lot of people throw their turret right here, or they'll even throw it up here, which is fine, but look where you run out of range. If your teammates give you the spike, there's no chance you're getting the plant down without your turret going down. So I'll usually throw my turret anywhere here. This turret will allow all your util to be up while you're in this site trying to plant, and if your teammates end up coming out mound and playing out mound, your teammates are usually smart enough to come clear this instead of just dying to the flank. At least the turret, someone will walk up and they'll clear this out for you, or you can just sit in this corner and wait, turret, and then you can peek and kill them. Here's some bonus stuff. When I'm attacking the C site, here's some mollies I like to throw. Right when the round starts and the barrier drops, I'll run over here and just jump throw a molly like that, so it lands kind of in this doorway as best as possible. Doesn't have to be spot on, but what this does is not only will it break some of the Killjoy setup that might be right here in front on the C site, it'll also stop people from jiggle peeking it like we talked about earlier. So if Cypher's playing here, I'll throw a molly here, or sometimes I'll throw it here because I know that's where the trips play, or same thing with the Killjoy. You're a Killjoy main yourself if you're watching this video, so you know where he's going to put his util. So then that's where you want to throw your Killjoy molly to break their stuff. And when I'm executing this site, something I really like to do is I'll get a gap in this doorway right here, usually no one's gonna peek that angle, usually. So what you can do is you can walk up and run throw, bounce that off the waterfall right there, and this molly will land behind this pillar. And every Killjoy main loves to sit right here because this is the only spot that you can be in range of your Killjoy turret on the B side as well. So now this person has to swing out of this angle or take a bunch of damage, so it allows you to pick this Killjoy off when you guys are running into the site, instead of this guy just badgering your teammates here and here and just getting a bunch of picks. Also, a little bit extra sauce, if you're defaulting with your team, sometimes I'll even throw my turret up top right here, because what this does, if there's there's a chamber, or there's a jet opping this way, this turret will be high enough up to be able to clear this person out, or they'll have to shoot it. They shoot it, they're fighting this, they're getting aggressive, and it gives your teammates a lot of information to what's going down on the C side of the map, so you don't just have to swing this wide and just hope you don't get sniped in the head. You know what I'm saying? When I'm executing the B site with my team, I'll almost always whip a molly right here. Obviously, I'll have my gun out and I'll make sure no one's peeking this angle, but like, let's say my omen throws a smoke right there, I'll throw a molly in the smoke, so that way when my teammates are running in the site to plant the bomb, they don't have to worry about the person walking out of the smoke. And sometimes I'll even throw a molly heaven for the exact same thing, in hopes that it'll stop people from swinging out of the smokes because they don't want to take a bunch of damage. Same sort of concept flies for the A side as well. When my teammates are running up the A side, this spot right here, oftentimes some kind of kid will just sit in this corner, and since it's a pillar instead of a box anymore, you can't spam this, right? So oftentimes I'll throw a molly here, or if my teammates smoke here, a lot of people like to sit in this smoke or in this corner, so I'll throw my molly somewhere here, so it clears out this whole area and forces that person back, and it prevents them from running to the smoke and killing my teammates as we're running this way into this site, so then we don't get shot in the back. Those are like small different things you can kind of do as a Killjoy main to really help your team out a lot without doing anything, too crazy. I'm going to quickly run through you guys all the different spots you can use your Killjoy for attacking and retaking. And since this update, a few things have changed. So let's say you pull up the map right here and you want to put your Killjoy down. This area is now completely open, so unless you have some sort of course for throwing mollies in this area, or having like a brimstone alt or like some sort of util being thrown, I would not use this alt anymore because it's completely open. So 9 times out of 10 you want to use your team and fight up waterfall, so you can put your alt down here, because if you put it perfectly in this corner, they will not be able to play anywhere in sight, and it'll be forced so far back mound that you'll basically be able to half or defuse the entire spike for free. Retake for the B site, assuming most of the time you're going to be playing towards C, basic spot right here. Everyone knows this. It covers everything, forces them all the way back. The only angle you really have to worry about is the people peeking this with 1 or 2 seconds left, and then they can have enough time to run back, and then this angle over here. And if you're retaking from upper, throwing it on the right side is technically a little bit better, but just throw it on the left side so you're a lot more safe, and understand that people can play here. And this side is a lot less likelihood for it to get broken. Retaking A on this map, this spot right here is going to be the best spot and get the most ground coverage in this corner right here. But the problem is this can be spammed, so do that kind of at your own risk. To be more safe, I always like to throw it up here in this spot right here. It forces them all the way back to tree or all the way out here, which they can sit back here and kind of spam you. So if you want, you can go for a more aggressive angle over here. This one will clear all the way out tree, but you have to keep in mind that the enemies are going to fight to try to break this ult, while this one is in a way safer spot right here. For attack, the best Killjoy ult for the A site is going to be into this corner right here, but this spot can be spammed through tree with a Vandal. You don't even need an Odin to make this spam. So oftentimes you like to fight in the tree with your teammates and then drop your ult down right here. This one cannot be broken. This one cannot be spammed unless you have an Odin, I believe. So this one's going to be a lot better for you to get off, and it clears absolutely everything. You throw a little molly towards drop, it'll cover everything, and you won't be able to get the plant down for free. For attacking the B site, everyone knows this spot right here, really basic. You'll be able to get the entire B site basically for free, but you do have to be aware that the enemies, the second this ult ends, they're going to flood so ridiculously fast. So you need to be planting this bomb early on so the enemies don't flood on you and kill you while you're trying to plant. C site ult is very basic, everyone knows this one, and in terms of attacking, this ult spot has not changed at all. It covers absolutely everything. Since this area is more wide now, it's completely fine. It'll still be completely covered. Just worry about this top area over here that still is open, that people might sit and try to pop your head or sit behind this smoke and try to spam you when you plant. Whatever it might be, that spot will still be open. So if you have a molly, go ahead and throw it there. I know that was a lot of information, but thank you guys for watching the video. And here's another reminder that I stream every single day at twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb. So if you guys want to ask me any questions about this guide or any other guides or any Killjoy cipher questions in general, come to my stream, twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb. Ask anytime. I'll give you an in-depth explanation to anything you guys want to know about Killjoy. And if you guys want to see some ranked gameplay as well, I'm there every single day grinding out some ranked. And thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.